The International Chemical Weapons Watchdog has backed the UK's assessment of what substance was used to poison the former spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia in Salisbury. Scientists at Porton Down had identified the chemical as Novichok, a military-grade nerve agent developed by Russia. Moscow has strongly denied any involvement. From Salisbury, Duncan Kennedy reports.
Removing the bench where Yulia and Sergei Skripal were found has been just one of the many clear-up operations in Salisbury to follow the nerve agent attack. Police say traces of the substance were found here in the city centre, and especially here at Mr Skripal's home in one of the suburbs of Salisbury. The first confirmation that it was a Novichok nerve agent came from the nearby Porton Down laboratories. Then Theresa May pointed the finger at Russia, saying it was responsible. Now the organisation set up to rid the world of chemical weapons has confirmed the British scientific conclusions. After carrying out its own tests, the Organisation for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons says the results of the analysis by the OPCW designated laboratories confirm the findings of the UK relating to the identity of the toxic chemical that was used in Salisbury and severely injured 3 people. Crucially, whilst the report doesn't name a country where the nerve agent came from, it does say that the toxic chemical was of high purity, implying it was made by a state. And that in turn has led to a forceful and immediate response from Boris Johnson, the Foreign Secretary. In a statement he says, "There can be no doubt what was used, and there remains no alternative explanation about who was responsible." He says only Russia has the means, the motive and the record. And chemical weapons experts say today's confirmation of the British scientific conclusion is important.
This report further corroborates the technical assessment on which the British accusation is based. It can't go further than that because that's not in the OPCW's mandate. The question of guilt is, of course, now the major question. There's a massive Russian information warfare offensive.
At the same time, Yulia Skripal has given an update on her progress. In a statement issued via the Met Police, she says, "I've been made aware of my specific contacts at the Russian embassy who have kindly offered me their assistance in any way they can. At the moment, I do not wish to avail myself of their services." Russia has questioned whether Yulia is being held against her will and has always denied any involvement in the Salisbury attack. But today's report by the world's chemical weapons watchdog appears to create more pressure on them and more support for the response by the international community. Duncan Kennedy, BBC News in Salisbury.
Well, let's get the thoughts of our security correspondent Frank Gardner, who's at the Foreign Office. And as we say, Moscow's always denied involvement in the Salisbury attack. Frank, so where does this report leave all of this now?
Well, this is the public version of the report. There are actually 2 reports. This is the executive summary, and let's be really clear about what it says and what it doesn't say. It says that their samples collected by the OPCW team confirm the findings of the United Kingdom relating to the identity of the toxic chemical that was used in Salisbury and which severely injured 3 people. What it does not say is that it was Novichok, or that it came from Russia, or that it was distributed in a certain way. That's not in the remit of the OPCW report, but it's being seized upon by officials here at the Foreign Office behind me, because there was a briefing for all, both UK and international media here, in which they're basically saying their findings are vindicated, because in the second classified report that we don't get to see, but which all 190 plus signatories to the Chemical Weapons Convention had been given, there is the full chemical formula, the chemical analysis of the nerve agent used, which Britain says is identical to a Novichok. So even though it doesn't say Novichok, they're saying it is a Novichok. So they're saying they've been proven right by this. We're still waiting to hear what Russia will say about it. I think the next stage in this is that next Wednesday there will be a meeting of the Executive Council of the OPCW in The Hague, and they will have to decide what to do next, because this looks like an infringement of the convention.
Frank Gardner, thank you.